Jeff Lyons out and about today at the Good evening, I'm Jeff Lyons. This is the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9. Welcome aboard here. We kick off another week of April here on the 20th, and we have another big warm-up on the way, capped off by some thunderstorms perhaps at the end of the week. If you'd like to comment in tonight, you can do so. Whoops. I have forgotten that again. Hang on one second here for our Facebook friends. We'll let that catch up there for just a minute. What I did was I forgot to turn on Facebook so people over there can see. Now we're on Facebook. Welcome to the 14First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock. You know the drill on Facebook. If you want to comment in, you can do it on the 14 News Facebook page in the comments section. We'll check those a little later. I had Butterfingers last night and did not trigger Facebook. So if you were looking for me then, I was here talking to somebody on the stream and on YouTube, but not on Facebook. So we're back. We have a cool evening out there. We're going to have warm evenings coming back pretty soon. Tonight, not as cold as we had this morning. We should drop that temperature back to around 48 or so. And then we will flirt with 80 tomorrow, if not hitting it outright. Wednesday, Thursday, temperatures return to the 80s, and at the end of the week, Friday through Monday, we enter into an unsettled pattern and rain will be possible again. Temperatures around the area right now are all in that same mid-50s range, and we've had very few, if any, clouds out there today. I didn't see any, and it's going to be like that through tomorrow and Wednesday. By Wednesday night, Thursday, some clouds coming in, maybe even a scattered sprinkle as we get into Thursday night and early Friday. One thing is certain, our temperatures are going to stay well above normal. The typical high 70, we will be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than that, even up to 82 there on Thursday before the rain arrives on Friday and goes through the weekend. 54 out there now, with our low today at 41, so that was a bit milder than yesterday, and we hit 65 at the top end this afternoon. That change in temperature, we were slightly warmer right now than we are or were yesterday at this time. Our low this morning, 7 degrees colder than the average and 5 degrees below the average here this afternoon. For April then, we start off on a cool note this week. We will make up for lost time though and start adding those orange 80-degree days in there soon. And hopefully we will tack on a little more rain at the end of the week. You know we need it with now a 2+ inch deficit on rainfall, and for the year starting to get a little more serious now with nearly a 5 1/3 inch deficit on rain. No hope for showers, at least not through Thursday. All the rain will be relegated to Texas. High pressure moves across the Gulf states and pulls up a southerly wind, which will warm us and also bring moister air into play by Thursday and Friday. And that's really will be the basis for those shower and thunderstorm chances at the end of the week. The GFS model showing that cold front coming in on Friday morning into the afternoon. It will slide through, and then we have additional rainfall possible Friday night and again over the weekend as we get into kind of an unsettled pattern. And then we have a more intense low showing. Now remember, this is that would be 8 days out in the models. So don't get too worked up over this, but a stronger low that will likely kick a cold front through sometime Monday or Tuesday. At least that's what the models are showing now. The afternoon run of the GFS ticked up a little bit on rain potential. This would take us through Tuesday, so that second system coming in. Now we're looking at maybe 1.5 inches, but you know how these numbers are. They tend to be inflated and shrivel up right when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of getting the rain. The European model also bringing rain in on Friday and Saturday, and then bringing another surge of energy in early next week with more shower and thunderstorm chances. And the European also added some rain to its projected totals there through early next week, but not much lower than the other one there, than the GFS. So what to make of all that? Rain on Friday, pretty good bet. Rain early next week, an okay bet. Heavy rain, still kind of the jury's out on that. 47 degrees tonight, 79 tomorrow, and then we will see that warmest day of the week on Thursday, and we will chase that out with some rain on Friday and showers continuing through the weekend. We're actually showing a 60% chance of rain on Monday, which is the second highest probability there to Friday. Temperature outlook, we are cooler than normal there for those first few days of May, and drier than normal too. Our pet pick tonight, this is Stormy, the mini pony out there. Showing it again because last night it didn't go out over Facebook, so my apologies there. There's just a lot of buttons back here, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. All right, let's get to your questions and comments. And they should be right there. They are. Okay, so we are broadcasting. Well, that's a plus. Anytime it works is a major victory for me here. All right. We've got Suzanne Daly. Glad to have me back. Good. Well, I'm glad to be back too. William Raleigh, garden all planted and front gardens are finished. I wish I could say the same. But good for you. Now we need to get the rain going out there. Jeff Miller alternated over, watched me on YouTube last night. Yeah, and to get to the comments on YouTube is kind of a convoluted thing here, so that's why I didn't talk back and kind of cut it short. Not laziness or sloth, although you might look at it that way. It was just like, I was already a little flustered from messing up over here. Cheyenne Hammonds, good evening. Oh, you watch on YouTube too. Well, you guys are ambidextrous then. You can go to any streaming platform, right? Zach Seeds, any concerns about stronger thunderstorms this weekend or early next week? Zach, right now the Storm Prediction Center has areas to our west outlined for severe weather on Friday. Doesn't include the tri-state. It looks kind of like deja vu all over again, like what we had Friday night and Saturday, where the front and the storms kind of outrun the best ingredients for severe weather, shear and lift and so on, and temperature. With the storms coming in on Friday morning, they have a little better chance at least of capitalizing on heating, but whether we will have the shear and the lift in place and instability is still out to the jury right now. Not real sure. Carolyn Lovelace, watching from Hobstadt, ready for warm weather. Why do we have to have such bad weather every weekend? I know. You hate when that happens, don't you? Jeff Turner hopes he won't create much extra work for me and Arden. And of course, you were wondering about the winds. And every time I get ready to do that, we get another windy day. So then I got to add on and try to calculate. I'm thinking now maybe the smarter way to calculate whether we're having windier days, more windier days in general, is just to set a threshold for the gust. And any day we have a gust of, let's say, 25 or greater, or maybe it's 20 or greater, that counts. And then we could do a one-to-one comparison going back several years. We're still developing that, so don't panic. That's why we're here, to figure this stuff out for you. Chris Smith, yeah, that's why you couldn't find me on Facebook last night. I wasn't on there. And you know how I figured that out? Of course, I did the usual thing here, got up to Stormy, the mini pony, and went down to YouTube, or to Facebook, and there was nothing on there. And I thought, I think I forgot to do something, and I had. Not that you care, but when we set up a Facebook stream, there's about 4 steps we have to go through, and the 4th step is you enable it then to take the stream, and so it gets all queued up, and you can see yourself in there, but then you have to hit another, click on another button that takes it to air. And I didn't click that button. I had gone out to fix something else and just didn't do it. You know how that is. It's almost like walking into to another room in the house and then wondering what you're doing there, you know, which might or might not happen at my house. All right, it's Monday night, so I have a fresh out and about for you. This one comes from Owensboro, Kentucky. I was at the Kentucky Guitar Works a while back. Rick Ferris is a luthier. That is the fancy or official name for someone who builds and repairs stringed instruments, guitars, and in his case, mandolins, ukuleles, bluegrass instruments. And he has a whole shop full of them. He has an apprentice in there named Shane DeWitt, and they work together, and they build these beautifully handcrafted guitars. Takes them about, well, they say they can build a guitar in about a week in their, you can go over there and take classes and build your own guitar. But for the really high-end jobs, yeah, it's about a month. And I think Rick told me he's got a waiting list like over a year and a half. So anyway, we'll watch that, and then we'll come back here, and I'll have any other further questions you might have. I'm Jeff Lyons, out and about today at the Kentucky Guitar Works in Owensboro with Rick Ferris.
Howdy, howdy.
Master luthier here. You make guitars. What a shop you have back here. Lots going on.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, and excited to show you around.
Okay, well, let's take a look.
Okay. Lutherie came to me pretty early. Actually, when I was 14 years old, I dropped a guitar on stage, and it was disastrous for the guitar. But a friend who was in the audience, he took the guitar home, fixed it, and 2 weeks later you could not tell it had ever been damaged. So that was kind of the spark that ignited my curiosity.
No sand with the grain.
Shane and I have been friends for 20 years, but he's only been the luthier for like the last 2, so he has jumped into this.
I was a pharmacy technician for 18 years. And kind of burn out on that, and you know, the typical 9 to 5 grind. Rick took the dive here and asked if I wanted to join him. I decided might as well go for it.
He's now mixing tone woods up and coming up with tone wood concoctions. We're having a grand time together.
This was a good chance to do that, and it's nice to at the end of the day say I have done this rather than walking out and going, it's been another day.
So we start with raw lumber. Usually it's about 1/4 inch thick when it comes in. This is a much lower timber to it. Then we use steam to bend the sides, and the guitar gets its shape. We add a bunch of brace wood, which is the internal struts and the structure support, kind of like bones on a structure. And we carve those bones down until they make the right tones. So we're starting to bring in the taper of the curvature of the neck. Part of the fun is being able to adapt on the fly and have a customer come in while we're shaping it and say, hey, are we there yet? That we actually can string it up and listen to the guitar for the first time. It's incredible. The first time you're just like, you know, it's kind of like hearing a baby cry when it's born. I pull the guitar off the wall quite a bit, and got to remember why we're doing what we do. We were trying to maintain the integrity of history passed down by word of mouth and knowledge passed down from luthier to luthier. So we're very passionate about teaching this art of lutherie and continuing that lineage forward. So you can hear the highs in the being able to have a 17-month waiting period for my guitars and build in such a beautiful shop as Kentucky Guitar Works here, right in Owensboro, Kentucky. That's just a dream come true.
Rick, that's quite an operation you have going on here. Thanks for having us over.
Absolutely, thanks for coming. We really appreciate the chance to get to talk about it.
Sure. With Rick Ferris in Owensboro at the Guitar Works, I'm Jeff Lyons, out and about. Yeah. All right, that was Rick Ferris over at the Kentucky Guitar Works. I hope you enjoyed that. It was really fascinating, the amount of science and, of course, musicality and just expertise that you have to be a master luthier. Rick has been doing it, I think he told me 22 or 23 years, a long time. And they make them out of all kinds of wood, oak, mahogany, just a wide variety, rosewood. And then they display them. If you play guitar, you can go over there and pick one off the wall like he did and strum around. I don't play the guitar, but I can appreciate the work and the artistry involved. So lots of fun over there. Let's see if we have any more questions. A little cool for camping, says Angie Wampler. I would agree with that, yeah. Kathy Arnold enjoying more spring-like temps, no more 85 and 60 degree dew points. Well, we might get that by the end of the week. William Raleigh, did I get Tesla's 2 picks? It's a job to post them now. Yeah, I know. They make you go through all these hoops and you have to put in an email address. It's our legal department within the company. They're really, really gun-shy on copyright infractions, which is understandable. You don't want to use somebody's content without their permission, so that's why you have to go through all that. I appreciate it though, and we'll try to get the new Tesla set in here tomorrow night when we do the First Alert Weather Show at 9 o'clock. Other than just some great weather here through Wednesday and Thursday, not a lot happening. I think by the end of the week we might get a little busier here. If that cold front gets its act together, we could have some thunderstorms to talk about. In the meantime, just kick back, relax, enjoy the beautiful weather, and I will see you on 14 News at 10. Stay safe. Thanks for watching.